Buenos dias a todos. Here I am in Madrid. My name's Andre and I'll be taking over Instagram for today. And I'll show you a day in the typical life of a TEFL teacher in Madrid. Now, you might be saying to yourself, hey, it's noon on a Wednesday. Shouldn't you be working right now? And it's actually a holiday in Spain right now, which is the most stereotypically Spanish thing you could do is not work, but I'll walk you through my day anyway. Time? It's not a joke. It's actually second breakfast time in Spain. It's a beautiful day in Madrid today. It's about 2:30 p.m. And you know what logic dictates? Lunch. Now let me tell you legally how I got here. I obtained a year-long student visa through the TEFL Academy, which involves first taking a month-long course in TEFL, then later working as you're taking Spanish classes. Legally, as a student, you can work up to I was cut off in the last one, but I wanted to say that as a student, you can work up to 20 hours a week in pretty much anywhere you want, but typically for our qualifications, it's as an English teacher or as an English teaching assistant. Unfortunately, it is actually quite hard to get a working visa, and I've only been able to live here through student visas and working only up to 20 hours a week. Spain is notorious for having difficult bureaucracy, and yeah, that's bad news. I should mention that this is my third year living in Madrid and that I originally came here as an auxiliar de conversación, so I already had a job here, but just to answer the question, I saved about $500 just to get myself settled in because you only get paid once at the end of the month here. Yes, very much so. Public transport, food, housing, it's all very cheap here. I live alone in the center of the biggest city in Spain, and it's the cheapest apartment I've ever had in my life, so yeah, pretty cheap. I have both, but generally, if you just have one or the other, it's really easy to get jobs if you're from a country that speaks native English, or that's to say a native English speaker. For example, I majored in Spanish, but to be fair, that doesn't really matter. I'm the only person I know who's working here who had a degree even in Spanish, so I think it's just any university degree will suffice. Exchange student. I first moved to Spain as an exchange student when I was about 20, and that was admittedly harder to get used to the way of life, the bureaucratic system of everything, all the paperwork. But after that, you kind of learn to roll with it, and it gets easier. It's generally year-round. Spanish English academies, schools, they have notoriously high turnover rates. I've never been laid off or fired, but I guess the highest season is obviously in the early fall. I know that sounds weird because early fall is generally when the school year starts, but I'm just speaking from experience. I've never heard of that program, but if you're paying $1,000 and unless you're getting a degree, I don't know why you would go with that. Here's a look at my apartment, which is decked out in Christmas decorations. I do know non-native English speakers who work here. They're usually from Eastern European countries. I'm not exactly sure how that process works. I assume there must be some other kind of test or something to prove your English proficiency. Although it is my day off, I still give private classes in the afternoon, which is to say I do tandems, which means that I hablo en castellano and my friend speaks in English. Say hello.
Hello.
Adios. Okay, now because it's Wednesday night, that means, or Wednesday all day, it means movies are generally cheaper in most cinemas across Spain. Now this is the Madrid Metro. Alright, you can use that card for buses, trains, and long-distance trains. And if you're 26 and under, it is about €20 a month. I think if you're over...
I brought my own phone, which was unlocked in the States, and I just replaced it with another SIM card, but phone and technology stuff makes no sense to me, so bring it up with your service provider. Actually, a ton. Madrid's very well connected, and all the flights are cheap. The fact that a flight from Madrid to Rome costs about a tenth of what it costs to go from Vegas to Charlotte, to me, should be in violation of the Geneva Convention. So, the thing about Spanish cinemas is that they're usually dubbed. The best ones in Madrid to go to that just have Spanish subtitles are Yelmo Cine Ideal, Cine Princesa, and Los Cines Renuau. And I ended up seeing the Suspiria remake instead of the film Cold War. Another pro tip, that in Spain, despite everybody arriving about 30 minutes late, movies start right on time. There are no trailers at the actual showtime.